My name, as you heard before, is Chris Roberts, and I'm honoured to be the current chair of the European Working Group of People with Dementia. The group was launched by Alzheimer's Europe and its member associations in 2012. We celebrated our 10-year anniversary last year, and it's great to be a part of it. The group is composed entirely of people living with dementia, of different backgrounds, different diagnoses, and various ages. Our Sheila being the eldest. We are nominated by our national Alzheimer associations. We work to ensure the activities, projects, and meetings of Alzheimer's Europe duly reflect the priorities and views of us, people living with dementia. We do a lot of work with researchers in lots of different projects, giving our advice and insight to help with them as experts in our experiences. Our members actively participate in Alzheimer's Europe's annual conferences, and we give presentations and represent the group at other international events and meetings, both in our own countries and internationally. We work to ensure that we are listened to. We have 15 members at the moment, 4 of whom we're going to hear from today. Can I please bring Kevin to the podium, please.
Big crowd, Chris. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Kevin Quaid from Ireland, and I have Lewy body dementia. In Ireland, I am part of the Irish Dementia Working Group, and I am part of the Dementia Research Advisory Team, which is supported by the Alzheimer Society of Ireland. We are research advisors and co-researchers. We work in partnership with researchers across Ireland to create, design, deliver, and communicate research. In the European Working Group, public involvement is advanced. Just like Ireland, only in Europe, we get to work with international partners and researchers. We get to see how research is done in other countries, and we get different views and ideas from our colleagues all over Europe who are involved in research. We now have research, a place where companies and researchers realise the value and expertise of the lived experience. We are the experts. Thank you. I am not an expert in too many things, but I am an expert in what it's like to have Lewy body dementia, just as my wife, who is my carer, is an expert in what it's like to live with someone who has the disease. No matter what you are doing in life, you need to listen to the experts. And here in the European Working Group, you have the world of expertise on what it's like to live with different types of dementia. When it comes to public involvement with the lived experience, must be front and central to research. Remember the saying, nothing about us without us. And that is so true in our case. And it is our right to be involved. We also have been involved in a European project for PhD students working on blood biomarkers for Lewy body dementia. It is important that the students also have the opportunity to talk and listen to people with dementia about their experience of diagnosis and what value to their work could bring with the disease. We continue to participate with the European Parliament of People with Disabilities in 2022 and now in 2023 in Brussels. We need to make sure that dementia is classed as a disability, and making sure the needs and priorities of people with dementia are included. We actively contribute to the Alzheimer's conference like today, being at the scientific committee, rating abstracts, being part of the anti-stigma awards, providing speeches, chairing sessions, etc. I was particularly delighted to contribute to the Alzheimer Europe 2023 yearbook on the topic of legal capacity and decision-making. The European Working Group has a meeting about this topic, and members write testimonials about their experience, their views on this for the yearbook. I am lucky that I live in a country where public involvement has become commonplace. If this isn't the case in your country, it doesn't mean you can't do it. There are so many resources available online, including podcasts, articles, guides, and videos. In my life as an advocate over the past 7 years, I have seen major changes in the way research is done and how people like me are treated or looked upon when it comes to research. It's not too many years ago the public involvement meant that a researcher would come to us and ask us a question. And at the time, that was considered good public involvement because the person with dementia was involved. But little did they know how much we have to offer. Now people are coming to us with an idea and asking us what we think about it, ever before they even apply for research funding. We will tease it out with them. We will give them our opinion, and we will work together. Believe it or not, we don't have specialist research skills. We have our lived experience, and that is equally powerful. My colleagues have expertise in what it's like to live with other types of dementia, and what it's like to care for people with dementia. I have been very fortunate to work on a lot of really interesting research projects over the years, and whether it's over Zoom, testing out an idea, helping to collect data, or in a music room, writing a song with them, the collaborations, although different, have been very, very meaningful. Now we are getting involved in lab-based research at the very grassroots level, and it is so exciting. For me, being involved means I'm worth something, that I still have a contribution to make, that my voice is heard. I speak about a disease that I hate, and at the same time, I am passionate about. Public involvement has sometimes been hard work, but it's fun too. I have learned new things, had new experiences, and felt like I have made a real difference to improving life for all the people who will come after me. I walk away from research meetings feeling invigorated and excited. I am turning my Lewy body dementia into something productive and creating change. I thought I could only be a research subject. I had no research background or special knowledge, but public involvement has given me a new understanding of research and opened my eyes to the breadth of work happening across Ireland and the world. I am a researcher now, and that means so much to me. I used to think it was nice and kind for people to involve me in research. And don't get me wrong, it is. But now I know what I bring to the table, and that is experience, motivation, insight, novel ideas, and sharing information. Invite us into your space. Listen to our insights, and we can help you focus on the real-world impact your work can have on someone. It's not to put pressure on you. We are just invested in your work and your research in a different way to you. we have insights that can help you consider things maybe you hadn't thought of before. And if we don't understand something, we'll let you know. We'll tell you. I'm not sure if you all know what good crack is. It's a saying in Ireland to mean that someone is fun and congenial and easy to get along with. I think, well, I know I'm good crack, to be fair about it. I am good crack. My experience both with the Alzheimer Society of Ireland and Alzheimer's Europe means I am confident working with researchers. But there are other people who might not be as easy to work with. They might struggle to have their voices heard. But I want you to look for those new voices. Dementia affects people in such different ways and is a complex disease. We cannot get too comfortable or congratulate ourselves that public involvement work is done. We must always move forward and hear new voices and experience. I am delighted to support and mentor new dementia research advisory team members in Ireland, and I get that opportunity across Europe also. My takeaway message for you today is public involvement improves research, and therefore it can improve lives. Thank you.
I'd now like to introduce Pia. Just move that there. Okay.
Thank you. Hello, Helsinki. Hi. I feel like a rock star. All this audience, all these people listening to me. So here's my music. My name is Pia Knudsen. I'm 60 years old. And I'm blessed with two wonderful children, a girl and a boy. My daughter is 25 years old and is currently studying creative design in Copenhagen. My 30-year-old son is a DJ in Barcelona. They're living the good life, and I love visiting them whenever I can. I live alone in a cozy little townhouse in Aarhus, Denmark. Or well, I don't live all alone, but with the love of my life, Charlie. Charlie is a wonderful chap with curly hair. He's 3 years old and a lively poodle. I've always been good at thinking alternatively and outside the box, and I have always voiced my opinion. I'm very social, and throughout my career I have worked with young people, something I've loved. I'm very creative and have exhibited my art several places in Denmark and Europe. And by the way, here I am today because I was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease back in 2020. Today, I'd like to focus on something that's been particularly important to me since I was diagnosed, namely getting involved in a lot of different political, cultural, and informative contexts. I'm part of Alzheimer's Europe's European working group of people with dementia. It's a very long word. Which is the reason I'm so lucky to be here today. I'm one of the newest members of the group, and I have already been involved in several projects, both online and in person. Something that's been very important and giving to me in the group has been the focus on involving our opinions on the upcoming dementia medicine. In most of the things I'm involved in Denmark, I am the first person living with dementia to have a voice. I believe it's incredibly important to involve people with dementia in everything that has an impact on us. And it gives me so much energy and purpose to use my voice and raise awareness about this damn disease. But why is it important to involve us, people with dementia, you might wonder. Let me tell you why. There are so many misconceptions and myths about people living with dementia. I have experienced that. Here are some examples. The perception that I couldn't manage my job the day after I received my diagnosis. I was still me. But I was fired from my beloved job, and it felt like my life fell apart because being a teacher was a big part of being me. Additionally, there's an idea that people with dementia are only those who live in nursing homes and with whom you cannot hold a conversation. But here I am in flesh and blood. I'm just a human being struggling with a difficult life situation. Otherwise, I'm fully functioning, almost, kind of. I have created my new job by becoming a spokesperson for people with dementia. But I must emphasize that it has only been possible because of people believing in me who also have helped me getting involved. Based on my own experience, I have 3 important points to make when involving people with dementia. 1, listen. Listen to the people with dementia. We are the ones experience dementia from within. You must trust that we can and want to contribute, especially in matters that concern us and have an impact on our lives. 2, create the framework and foundation that gives us the possibilities to get involved in important issues. A part of that framework is the need for a practical coordinator and facilitator who understands our challenges and, most importantly, is keen on listening. Number 3 is take action. Ensure that we move beyond the talking stage, make our words matter, and implement our opinions and experiences. Let them impact on real lives, not just the talking. I know that there's a long way to go and that it takes time, but we are not even close to making voices of people with dementia matter all over the world. But if we start to whisper, eventually it will become a loud roar. We are on our way by cooperating across European countries, where we learn from and inspire each other. In Denmark, in our small working group consisting of people with dementia, we have had success with creative communication, which is what I like. As an artist and creative, my wish is that in the future, across European boundaries, we will become even better conveying our beliefs and opinions in a creative manner. In Denmark, we have produced a movie, a film, where we use creativity in communication about dementia. During the process of making the film, we have been listened to in a supportive environment with people who have acted alongside us. This is good involvement. The film has been viewed by many Danish people, and we are very proud of it. However, this video included people with dementia wearing balaclava masks. Considering the past and recent political conflicts in some parts of Europe, it was decided not to share the video today in case it could be a bit upsetting for some people. That's something we learn in the European group too. However, if you are interested and you dare, I would encourage you to scan the QR code, visit the website and watch the video called Dementia Has Many Faces on YouTube. The QR code will also be in our stand, so come and visit us. Thank you.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Next, Věra. Thank you, Věra.
Hello, my name is Věra Ryšavá. I'm from Czech Republic. I'm 68 years old. I was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in December 2020. On my own, I didn't notice anything, but my friend noticed changes in my behavior. Since we have the same general practitioner, she consulted it with him. He sent me for a CT scan after my consultation. There, they discovered my diagnosis, and I was sent to a neurologist and finally to a specialist, psychiatrist, who did the test with me, wrote the prescription, gave the date of the next visit and the brochure. When I asked what I was given the pills for, I was told, "You have Alzheimer's, read the brochure and have your family read it too. Come on the given date for a checkup." At that moment, my world came crashing down. I was shocked not only by the diagnosis, but also the way it was communicated to me. For the next 6 months or so, I didn't live. I just survived, crying at night, thinking about the information about Alzheimer's disease that I had known from the press and TV up to that point. Unfortunately, it was mostly information about the last stages of the disease. I visited my general practitioner again. I didn't have the courage to go to a specialist. I wanted more information, what to do, the prognosis of the disease. I was told, use the brain and given a prognosis of 3 to 5 years. Another depression. I'm divorced, already retired. I work in the children's department of a branch of the municipal library in Prague, and I enjoyed the and fulfilling work very much. I have one son and one 3-year-old grandson. I didn't want to come to terms with my situation internally, so I kept looking for answers to my questions on the internet. Course of the disease, prognosis, treatment of the disease. Only when I was on the internet did I come across the Czech Alzheimer Society. I called there and was connected to Dr. Jarolimová. She listened to my feelings and concerns and invited me to the Memory Wanderings, self-support group organized by the Czech Alzheimer Society. And I can say that since then I have started to bounce back up from where I had been until then, because I got the opportunity to share my feelings with people with the same health problem, early onset Alzheimer's, and get answers to my other questions at the same time. Thanks to the Czech Alzheimer Society, I also got the opportunity to join Alzheimer Europe's Europe working group people with dementia, and thus contribute with my knowledge and feelings, and at the same time have the opportunity to compare the issue of Alzheimer's disease in other countries as well. Furthermore, thanks to the Czech Alzheimer Society, I got the opportunity to become a member of the interdisciplinary and interdepartmental working group for conceptual solutions to the issue of Alzheimer's disease and similar disease in the creation of NAPAN, the National Action Plan for Alzheimer's and Similar Disease in the Czech Republic. I realized not only from my own experience, but also from conversations with other people, that in our country there is not enough information about Alzheimer's disease for the general public, about prevention or the possibility of prevention. I myself only came across information about the advanced stages of the disease. That also why I think that the word dementia is sometimes taken as a swear word in our country, a dirty word denoting a person as not thinking. And it is not taken or perceived as a brain disease, a disease like any other disease, which has its own cause and symptoms, which, unfortunately, is not yet curable, but it is possible to notice the symptoms of the disease and not just leave it at that, but also use the possibilities early diagnosis. I became aware of the stigma of dementia in our country even after my short interview for Czech TV, when I met neighborhood acquaintances who didn't know until then that I had Alzheimer's, and they suddenly seemed shy or inhibited to speak to me as they had before. Here again, I realized how important information is. Now, I'm kind of internally reconciled with my illness, and thanks to a timely diagnosis, I have the opportunity to organize my future. Through the Czech Alzheimer Society, I also learned that there is a possibility of an advances directive, which I had no information about at the time of the diagnosis. I try to live in the present, to enjoy every day. I try to get involved in projects related to Alzheimer's issues, where I could help and contribute with my opinion, view, and feelings of a person with dementia. I would like to live in society where I feel understood, supported, and respected, where I'm still part of society, where I still have my place even with my health problem, and where I consider it as a person and not as a diagnosis. And if my mental abilities allow me to do so, with the possibility of choice in my life. I greatly respect and appreciate people who are trying to change the current, in my eyes, still insufficient situation in care and help for people with dementia for the better, and thus enable people with this health problem to live their lives with dignity until the end. My big thanks to them. Thank you.
Brilliant. And last, but definitely not least, Nigel.
Hi, conference. How are you doing? You okay? Having a good time? Yeah? All right. First, may I pay tribute to the three people that came before me. Put your hands together for fantastic people. Well, the thing that's not spoken about the most, I think, is the depth of character of people living with dementia. Put aside the doubts, put aside the self-doubts, and they come up and they tell their stories. Hello, my name's Nigel, and I come from Swansea in South Wales, where men are men and sheep are cautious. And I'm pleased today to talk about public involvement, because I think it's at the heart of the way that dementia services should be driven and pursued. Public involvement is significant when making decisions that affect the community. Everyone must have their say. Everyone must become involved, whether through forums, through research, through meetings or surveys, or other forms of outreach. The PI experience, although not unique, shows a mix of people with lived experiences and professionals working in dementia services that brings an opportunity for dialogue, exchange of ideas, and learning in a safe space. And when I think about it, I think of what the African-American author Alice Walker said. And she said, just because somebody doesn't speak doesn't mean they have nothing to say. And remember that. Even the quietest voice could change the way you think if given the opportunity. I believe that a well-supported PI approach will always allow people to engage in meaningful and genuine co-production. This allows people who supply or receive the services to share responsibilities in supportive ways. And the outcomes for everybody are empowering. I'm a big fan of PI and a big fan of co-production. And when I start, I can empty a room quicker than anthrax, trust me. But I won't bother you with all the details of the things that we've done. But as someone who cares deeply about creating a dementia inclusive environment, I believe it's crucial to prioritize clear communication and empathy when interacting with people with dementia. This means taking the time to listen, being patient, avoiding confusing language or complex instructions. Working together, we can create a more inclusive and supportive society for everyone. Participants can achieve goals and make positive impact. And it's rewarding to see hard work pay off, which benefits the community. Moving forward, we should continue to strive for excellence and aim for greater outcomes. Outcomes such as the Welsh Dementia Action Plan, co-produced. The Welsh Dementia Friendly Hospital Charter, co-produced. The Welsh Dementia Standards, co-produced. Now, let's look at Alzheimer's Europe. The Guidelines for Ethical and Inclusive Communications, co-produced. The Interdem Task Force, dealing with people, making inquiries how people with dementia use IT to help them get through the COVID crisis. Providing feedback to pharmaceutical companies about protocols, informed consent, etc., and the context of clinical trials. Why not visit our stand and ask about opportunities to become involved? It's the only way you'll make change, is by being in the room when the decisions are made. Light touch facilitation from the project leaders would allow people with a lived experience to respond with open and honest dialogue. Participation in the activity will show willingness to support and hear voices and be part of the solution. Through this process, it is possible to recognise that issues are not unique. and the challenges they bring up are not unique. Recognising this and the familiarity will allow participants to share responses and identify areas of common need and outcomes. But PI is not just about services, it's about research as well, and it's about policy making. How do you know unless you ask the client that you're on the right track? You don't, do you? It's all guesswork. And I always feel better after participating in a PI event, because I've been focusing on my sense of worth, my value. It's a complex process, but it's worth it. When I feel good about myself, I feel good about the services I'm receiving and my future. And I feel I'm capable of achieving my goals. But dementia can be challenging for everyone, and particularly for individuals who struggle with self-worth and value. It's essential people affected by dementia to remember that their dementia does not affect their value, does not affect their self-worth, does not affect their citizenship, and certainly does not affect their opinions. They're as valid as they were before the diagnosis. Taking steps to engage in meaningful activities such as PI, connecting with others, and seeking support can all help. Saves money, has better delivery, and improves overall well-being. Co-production, engagement places people at the heart of where the decisions are made. And most of the organisations that support dementia are now beginning to realise this. I struggle with the accepted models of service delivery. And I've opposed it at all levels. I've listened to the arguments, I've listened to the bureaucratic posturing, and I've listened to the patronising. It won't work unless we're there. Unless we're in the room, it won't work. I've often considered why the big guns never admit they're wrong. And I feel a little bit like Mark Twain, who said, it's easier to fool people than tell people they're being fooled. When someone gets a diagnosis, they are advised to stop work, hand in their driver's license, and prepare for an early death. But if you reform our environment and how we are treated as people, we may maintain functioning for much longer. Promoting joint decision-making, not substitute decision-making, would we do better at ascertaining the will and preferences of people with dementia. It can remove the barriers that stop people with a diagnosis and their supporters from participating in public life, which often is we find the door closed, our views are not listened to. Everything I've spoken about is fundamental to us all as we strive to achieve positive life outcomes, enable well-being and achieve a decent quality of life. And if we should require person-centred care, being at the heart of the development and the delivery of that. When I look to the future, I can't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. On one hand, so many possibilities and opportunities await. On the other hand, some challenges and uncertainties lie ahead. But anything is possible with hard work and determination and passion. Passion is very important and commitment. I look forward to seeing what the future holds, and I'm ready to deal with anything that comes my way. But we need awareness, and we need to raise awareness, push for better research, and support for those living with this terrible disease. It's heartbreaking to see the toll dementia can take. I hate it. I want to take it outside, beat it with a stick, throw it in a sack, and chuck it in a river. That's what I want to do. Everybody will know somebody with dementia soon, and everybody will be affected. I can't leave my dementia at the door, it comes with me. And sometimes it whispers in my ear, you're not strong enough to withstand the storm. I do something like PI, and I turn around and say to it, I am the storm. Listen to me now, I am the storm. So I've got one question for you before I finish. I stand with all in the fight for a world without dementia. Will you stand with me? Yes?
Stand up. Stand up.
There's really nothing more to say right now. Chris?
There is.
Oh, there is?
But I'm eating into your coffee break. So I'll be as quick as possible. It's 2 minutes. Everything is changing, but nothing seems to change either. If you've heard all that. Had a huge impact on people's lives, such as Pia, who lost a job as a teacher, and Věra, who was devastated after her diagnosis. A common topic in both speeches is a lack of appropriate communication and information about dementia. Last year, we developed some guidelines about ethical and respectful communication. Please check them out. They are relevant to a lot of what's been said here today. All the speeches made reference to the importance of a person living with dementia who wants to contribute to society, and in different ways. And this empowers and brings value. And it brings hope. I know, because that's what happened to me. We need to be all supported, to be enabled, not disabled to do this. The European Working Group, because of Alzheimer's Europe, has had a lot of experience in doing just this. The group has been involved in several projects, published articles in academic journals, and also about how to do this. We need a society where people are not just a diagnosis, not just a label, but we need a place where we can feel understood, supported, and respected. To be able to feel that we do contribute and that we are members of a society as they did today. Thank you.
Yes, please. Thanks so much. Yeah. Bravo. Yeah. Wonderful. The question that Nigel just asked you, will you stand with us? Can we answer that with hands? If you say yes, maybe two. Okay, that's your answer. All right. Thank you so much. I don't want to say anything about you because we all felt it, I think, and we understood, I think. I just have some things to tell you, that we will have different sub-sessions, 16 of them, different ones. You know all about it. We will help you find them, and they're all interesting, of course. Tomorrow, Jean, my co-host, and me will be back here at 8:30, and then we will talk about brain health and prevention. But tonight, there's also that welcome reception at the City Hall of Helsinki, and the Major, he's hosting us, so that's kind of nice. If you registered for the reception, you're welcome. You had to do that, register. And then we will take you with the bus, and the bus leaves at 6:30 from the door at the conference center. And then we go to the city center and find out what they will show us there. All right? Yes? Okay, that's it for now. The conference app that you have, you can use it also to chat with each other, but also to give feedback, also to one another. For instance, if you've seen her poster, and you can do that online in the app as well. So please explore the app. So lots of information, but you can have fun with that. Thank you so much. All right, now we have the stage here. See you tomorrow.